guys, so the first item in my ride or die makeup collection situation is going to be a combination of a moisturizer and a primer, which I've already applied to my face. So this is my Algentist Sublime Defense Anti-Aging Blurring Moisturizer in SPF 30. So this is really great if you have oily skin. For me, I'm able to use this as my moisturizer, primer, and SPF all in one, and my makeup goes on awesome with it. So I highly recommend if you have very oily skin, like a grease slick, to try this out. I did get it in a small, like, deluxe sample size at Ulta and tried it before I went and spent the whopping 70 bucks on it. But for me, I'm getting like a moisturizer, a primer, and a SPF all in one, so it's worth it. I highly recommend it. This is by far my very favorite moisturizer that I've ever used, primer, everything. So the next item on my ride or die is going to be my eyelid primer. So it used to be Urban Decay Primer Potion until I got this in one of my Ipsy bags, I believe. And it's the Elizabeth Mott Thank Me Later Eyeshadow Primer. So I'm still working on this little guy. It doesn't take a lot of this, but I really like it to keep my eyeshadow in place. The Urban Decay, I thought, was keeping my eyeshadow in place all day, but recently I've been noticing that I do have creasing towards the end of the day, and with this eyeshadow primer, I actually don't have any creasing. So yeah, like at all. So I really like this. I need to figure out and investigate where to get this online so I can order a larger size. That way, when I'm done with this one, I do have a backup. But yeah, this is great. So if you have oily eyelids, I highly recommend trying it out, or keep your fingers crossed that you get it in an Ipsy Glam bag. That way you can try it out. So then the next thing we're going to do is dark circle corrector. So I have tried a lot of different orange toned dark circle correctors, and I find myself always going back to my NYX dark circle corrector in the shade medium. This stuff is awesome. It's not as orangey. It's more of like a salmony peachy kind of color, and it works really well for my under eye circles. I've used the Becca like straight up orange one before, and it just didn't do, I mean, it worked, but I feel like this worked a little bit better. So yeah, I will always reach for this. You know, I'll try other ones because there's, you know, you're always on the hunt for something better, but I don't know what's going to beat this one, to be honest. And it's affordable. You can get it at Ulta for like $5. Wait till they have a NYX sale, buy one get one half off, or additional 40% off of all NYX. And yeah, it's really cheap and it works really well. So yeah, that is my tip for you. Don't spend a whole lot of money on correctors. Try the NYX ones first before you go shelling out $30 for a little jar this size, and spend $5 on the NYX one. Alright, so then we're going to go into my ride or die foundation. So I have a lot of foundations over there. A lot that, you know, I use at different times of the year. When I'm a little bit drier, when I'm a way oilier, when I'm really oily, like different stages of oiliness. But this foundation, I feel, is my ride or die. I've always been a fan of MAC foundations. I've tried, you know, a wide array of other foundations, but MAC Pro Longwear, the Nourishing Waterproof, is by far my favorite. It just looks really good on my skin, and it covers what I need it to cover. I guess a tie for this would be my Estee Lauder Double Wear is a tie for this one, but I figured, like, this is what I, like, this is my ride or die. This is my jam. And I always use this when I want my skin to look really good. So yeah, I love this foundation. If you're oily, if you're going to be outdoors a lot and you need your, you know, it's going to be sweaty and hot and whatnot, like, and you need your stuff to stay put, then I highly recommend this foundation because it's great. And you can build it up. I usually don't build up foundations because for me, when I do that, I start to look cakey no matter what the product is. But this foundation covers, for me, what I want it to on a daily basis. It's not high coverage. I'd say it's medium to buildable. But again, like I said, I don't like to build my foundations. Just because once you get your concealer on and your powder on and everything, I feel like everything kind of levels out on the face. And like I do have my dark spots here, but I'm not worrying about covering those. Just because, like I said, if I wanted full coverage, I could use one of my heavy duty foundations or go in with a really thick concealer under this. But for every day, this is perfect for me. We all have flaws, and I'm just going to embrace mine today with my little bit of scars on my face. So anyways, so yeah, this is a great foundation. Again, oily skin, going to be outside for long periods of time, going to be sweating, all that good stuff. This is a great foundation for all those things. And it blends in really well. This is actually my first time using my Beauty Blender in probably 6 months. But I love my Beauty Blender, and I found it in my, like, what's it called? Bathroom cabinet. So I figured, let me go ahead and bust this sucker back out. Since I moved all my makeup into my beauty room slash closet slash office slash photo space, I have... Okay guys, sorry, my camera stopped filming. I was talking about my Ride or Die concealer. So the Ride or Die concealer that I have chose is my NYX HD concealer in the color CW04. It is a close tie with my Tarte Shape Tape, but I actually have the wrong color. I had a really dark tan when I bought it, and I have the color tan. It is beautiful under the eyes, but right now I can't use it because it's a little bit of my skin tone and not a highlighting color. But this is what I go back to no matter what. I've tried all sorts of concealers, Naked Skin, MAC used to be my Ride or Die back in the day. The one in the little pump jar that always squeezes out like too much product. That one, you guys know what I'm talking about. But this one, it applies beautifully. I put it on under my eyes and in the center of my nose, top of my forehead, and around my redness on my nose. And it's great. We're going to go ahead and blend that a little bit more, just in case we had any creasing while I had to try to figure out why my camera stopped recording. And that brings me to the next thing. The next item is going to be under eye setting powders. So out of all of my under eye setting powders, none of them, to be honest, stand out that much. Some work better than others in combination with other products, but I would say one that I always can always rely on, always know it's going to do what it needs to do, is going to be the MAC powders. So I use typically these two. If I want a really intense highlight, then I'll use the whitish colored one. To be honest, I don't remember the names of these, and I'm not going to pop them out, but you guys can go on the MAC website and I can link it down in the down bar for you what the color names are. But it's the yellow and the peach one. I like them. They are great. I use them together usually, mixing them together, just because one's too dark on me by itself, and then the other one's just kind of too peachy. But I like them mixed together, and it does its job. You know, they're not amazing, but I always know that they will set my under eyes and kind of like set it and forget it. I don't have to worry about anything creasing or anything like that. Now, when I use other products, do I use this? No. There's other powders I like with other products, but I know this is just it's gonna stay put. It's gonna work, and that's why it is a ride or die for me. So yeah. So we got that put on, and then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to check pressed powders more than loose powders. I just don't like to be that messy. I do use a loose powder to like bake with, but typically setting my whole face is going to be a pressed powder. So I really like this powder. It does what it needs to do. You can use a light brush like I'm using here just to kind of put a dusting on your face, which I probably need to put more than a dusting, but my other brush is over there, and if I get up, it means I have to reset my camera focus, and I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to make this work for me today. But yeah, this powder is great. If you're really oily, again, I highly, highly recommend it. It is pricier, you know, than some of these other items that I've mentioned, but it works, and it lasts for a while, especially if you don't use it all the time, because I do go back and forth. With other powders, I'll use like an actual foundation, like a powder foundation sometimes. Sometimes will use a inexpensive drugstore powder. You know, it just kind of depends. on my mood and my makeup and things like that. But this one, I know it will never do me wrong. It's great and I love it. So that brings me to bronzers next. So for bronzers, this is something that was introduced to me by a friend of mine. She had gotten a bunch of pressed powders and makeup and stuff from the drugstore. I believe it was like gratis or something like that. And she got this powder and it was way too dark for her to use as a face powder. So she's like, hey, do you want this? And I was like, yeah, I'll try it out. It looks really dark, but I don't know what I can do with it. So this is like my second or third one that I'm on since she gave me one. And this is actually the Covergirl Clean Oil Control Press Powder in the color 565 Tawny. This is a face powder. This face powder is what I use when I don't want to think about picking out a bronzer. It is beautiful. It blends in really well because it is a face powder, so it's meant to be blendable. It's oil free, so us girls with oily skin, it's going to work out great for her. I really, really, really enjoy this as a bronzer. Makeup is universal. You know, you don't have to use things that are labeled certain things, you know, bronzers as bronzers or face powders as face powders. Do what you want with them, and I have done what I want with this, and this is by far the best bronzer that I own. Now when I do have a tan, it is kind of too light for me. It kind of is more like a face powder at that point. Then I have to kind of transition and use a little bit of a deeper product. But this, when I'm at this skin tone or lighter, is perfect. It gives you the perfect like kiss of color on your face without looking too reddish, too orangey, too dark, you know. It's great, and I really, really like this. So, Ride or Die bronzer is actually a face powder from Covergirl. I'm noticing that all of my stuff is in the more fairly affordable price range, with the exception of my face powder and my... Oh no, wait, I lied. There's a few more expensive things here. It's a good happy median, I think, between the both of high-end to drugstore. So then next, we're going to go ahead and go into... What are we going to do next? We're going to jump to eyes. So out of all my eyeshadow palettes that I have, there's one that I can always count on to give me a quick, easy, everyday, or smoky, or whatever look. It's basic, it's simple, it's small. You travel with it. I traveled when I had my last job where I traveled all the time. I took this with me all the time when I traveled because it was just easy. It had a blush in it, a bronzer in it, and your eyeshadow colors. And it actually comes with brushes that I've never used. But this is just the best palette for every day. Take it with you, go out of town, create several different looks, natural looks, evening looks. Like, it's really good, and you don't have to think too hard about what am I going to do today. Because there's just enough shades in here to do what you need it to do. And this palette is the Lorac Pro To Go. I love this thing. It is a great palette. It has your, oops, where are you at? It has 6 colors in it. And like I said, you can do, you know, a smoky eye. You can do a daytime eye. You can do like just a neutral eye. There's a lot you can do with it. And it's just my go-to when I can't think of anything. And then on the back side here, you have your 2 blushes and your bronzer. So it's a great palette. I love this palette. And that's what we're putting on the eyes today. So we're going to go in, and I'm going to go in with the color Cafe, which is the matte kind of soft brown. And just go ahead and put that in the crease of the eye. And just go ahead and put that in windshield wiper motions. And we're going for more of like a natural eye today. Nothing too crazy. I actually have to do a photo shoot after this, and I want stuff to look natural in the photos and not like too overdone. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to be cutting my head out of them because I'm doing fashion where my face really doesn't need to be shown, but I don't know. We'll see what they look like once I get done. Alright, so I think we got enough color there in our socket or crease of the eye. So then next what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to use the color, you know, I think we're going to go in and use the color Shell. That's what we're going to do. Shell is the matte, matte white cream color, and just go ahead and put that on the lid. And when you put it on the lid, it has more of a sheen to it. It looks very matte in the palette, but when you put it on the lid, it does have a nice sheen. Not sparkle, not glitter, not shimmer, just a sheen. So it's more like a satin finish than a true matte. But I really like this when you're wanting to go for an easy, fresh, bright-eyed look. Alright, so we got that on there. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do our winged eyeliner. I'm actually going to talk about it and do it off camera because you guys know can't do winged eyeliner on camera to save my own life because I'm blind as a bat. But anyway, so my favorite is going to be the, what is this called? Physcian's 2-in-1 Eye Booster in Ultra Black. Best, hands down, eyeliner from the drugstore, from wherever, from anywhere that you can possibly use. Only problem I have with it is I get oily right here on the sides of my eye, and eventually it will start running a little bit. So if I don't put eyeshadow like on my lower lash line, you can see the fact that it kind of is running. So all eyeliners do that on me, but this one is the easiest for me to apply. It applies great. Another good option, if you want an affordable one, is Jessie's Girl from, I think it's sold at Rite Aid, if I'm not mistaken. I have a couple of those as well, and they're great, but it does the same thing, but they're easy to apply. It's your real thin, felt tippy, brush tippy, whatever this tippy is, applicator, and I love it. I just wish it wouldn't bleed on the sides of my eye, but neither here nor there. It's a great eyeliner. It looks good on until I get about 5 hours into the day and then it starts doing the whole bleedy thing. But let me go ahead and apply this and I will be right back. Eyeliner is on, looking good. So we're going to go back into that Lorac palette and just kind of deepen up the sides a little bit with the black that's in there. So I'm just going to dab, like barely dab my brush in there, and then just kind of put a little bit here in the outer portion of the eye just to create a little bit more definition to that area of the eye. I like to do this usually when my eyeliner is already placed because I can kind of see exactly where I need to be putting this and how dark it needs to be. And just with black, you know, guys, you just gotta blend. Just got to keep on blending until your arm wants to fall off. I used to be a culprit and I didn't blend. I just went in with a bunch of black and put it on. I was like, why does this look bad? Well, that's why. That's why I look bad. Because I didn't go in with small increments and I did not blend anything to save my life. Alright, I think we're good. Okay, so then we're going to move on to blush. So for me, I went through all my blushes. Blushes is not my favorite thing. Like, blushes just really are not my favorite thing. I have a few of them. There's ones that I've used up because I didn't know about blush really and know about other colors to use, and that I used to use over and over and over again. But I would say right now my favorite blush, hands down, is something else I got in either an Ipsy or a BoxyCharm or one of those subscription boxes. But it's actually the Mott Co. Blush Cheek Powder in Peach Belini. I really like this. Like, you don't have to wear a highlighter if you don't want to when you wear this. It's just a really pretty blush, and it goes with everything. I always reach for it when I don't know what blush to put on. It's just a really pretty one. As you can see, it just gives you a nice little peachy to the cheek. And it's just a really good one. You don't have to think. It always is going to go with most looks that you're doing. And yeah, it looks good in my opinion. So that's one I never have to think about. When I think of ride or die, like makeup, I think of stuff I don't have to think about. You know, stuff that I can just pick up, put on, and I know it's going to work on my face. And that's what all these products are, is I know they're going to work. I know that I don't have to think, and I know it's going to be a quick makeup look for me. So yeah. So moving in next to mascara. No. We're going to do brows first. So to be honest, my Ride or Die brow product is actually the NYX Micro Brow. pencil, and I can't remember what color I used to own, but I'm out of it, and I told myself I wasn't going to buy another one until I've used up a couple eye products that I already have. So I'm trying to finish up my Anastasia Brow Wiz, which I do love. It is a great eyebrow product, but for the money, I'd rather just buy 2 NYX ones for 20 bucks instead of 21 or 22 for this little guy here, which I have repurchased a couple times, trying to, you know, get back into using higher end eyebrow products. But to be honest, I do prefer my NYX Microbrow over any other eyebrow pencils that I own. But sorry I don't have that to show to you guys because I'm out of it. But let me go ahead and do my brows and I'll be right back. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about, ride or die for me, and I don't use this all that often, but when I do reach for this because I know it's going to work. It is my Laura Geller, what is it even called? Incredible Waterproof Gel Eyeliner in Blackbird. So, I don't even remember, I think I got this free because they were out of another free gift at Ulta, and I've tried, you know, inexpensive liners. I've tried all sorts of different liners for my waterline. Usually more inexpensive ones because I don't wear it in my waterline enough to go invest a whole bunch of money in a high-end one. But this one from Laura Geller stays in my waterline. Sorry, I can't talk when I do that. So yeah, this sucker, for me, it stays put longer than any other eyeliner I've tried in my waterline, and it just works out really well for me. I have no complaints, no need to get any other, you know, products for my waterline. It just sucks that I use other colors, but I know they're not going to last. If I want like a bright yellow or green or red or purple or whatever, I know they're not going to last as long, so I kind of do it just for aesthetic purposes for Instagram and things like that. But if I'm going out and about and I want this to stay in my waterline, this one is the best one for me. I guess I have watery eyes. I never really thought that I did, but apparently I do because nothing wants to stay put. So yeah, so that's that. And I'll blend that out here shortly. Just give me a moment. The next thing we're going to go into is eye mascara. Why did I say eye mascara? We know mascara is for the eye. Anyways, so mascara. For me, the ride or die is going to be my Benefit They're Real mascara. This is the best stuff for me when I want to have long, crazy, thick, full, almost borderline clumpy lashes. I love this stuff. It works really well. It's a bitch to get off, but it works really, really well on lengthening. And you can do just like a small, thin coat, you know, if you just kind of do this and leave it at that. And it gives you really, you know, good looking lashes. Or you can kind of be like me and keep on adding more coats. It is a great mascara. It lasts a long time. Possibly because I don't use it every single day. That might be why it lasts so long for me. I only use this usually when I want really, 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 really thick lashes, and I'm not using false lashes, or if I'm not wanting like a super natural look, then I use this. It's not by any means for me an everyday mascara. I mean, it could be. It's just I have other ones I use for like everyday mascara. So yeah, this mascara is great. It works really good on the upper lash line. It has this little ball at the end, so you can kind of get in there and get into your lower lashes if you want to. So yeah, I really enjoyed this mascara for that. And the last 2 products that I have to talk to you guys about are lip products. So for my ride or die lip items, it's going to be from MAC Cosmetics. Basic lipstick, basic lip liner. Ride or die, best products for me personally, because again, I don't have to think about it. I know they're going to work, I know they're going to be great, and I know that they're going to perform. So, in no particular color per se, but I like all the MAC lip pencils. They're great. They work really well. I do like NYX as well, but I think MAC is just a little bit better. And I will invest the money in the lip pencils. So this one for today that I'm going to be using is Stone. My 2 favorites are actually Stone and Whirl. They're really good neutral lip liners that you can kind of pair with a lot of different colors. So we got that down, and then my ride or die favorite lip color is actually Cream Cut by MAC. Yeah, it is a great, just basic, everyday, pink, neutral color that you can make it more pink if you were to not, you know, use this lip liner that I did. But I kind of wanted an ombre effect. Yeah, so it's a great lip liner. I love it. Or lip liner, lip product. Love that. And the last thing, I don't have it with me, is actually my Buxom lip gloss. The ones that are the minty ones. I can't find mine right now. But it is awesome. I rebuy it all the time. I buy a different like neutral color every time I buy it. I love how it makes your lips look glossy. I love how it makes your lips tingle. And some people don't like that. I do. To me, it's a great product. And yeah, that is my ride or die lip gloss. I have a bunch of lip glosses, but I always find myself repurchasing the Buxom one because I just prefer it more than others. So that is the look with all of my ride or die items. I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!